In 1985, one Keyshawn Johnson was running the streets telling everybody he would be the number 1 overall pick out of USC for the New York Jets, and he was. And he joins us now. Keyshawn Johnson, who will be running out of the tunnel tonight at the Coliseum, the tunnel captain for USC Northwestern. And Key joins us now. Good morning, Key.
What's happening, man? Actually, that's not really a joke. It wasn't 85. It was actually 1982 when I was hanging around USC as a kid, and I got interviewed by Fred Rogan, and Fred Rogan interviewed me, and I told him that I would win the Heisman and be the next Marcus Allen. So you were close.
Well, there you go.
Why did he interview you?
Because I was hanging out at the practice, and we were, Rugrats, a bunch of kids. At the time, USC was just it was a neighborhood-friendly university that welcomed all the neighborhood kids, and it was an open campus, unlike now, where it's pretty much a closed campus. And we were just there hanging out, Sedano, and I just happened to be one of the little kids that was around, and he decided to interview me.
I love this picture.
Crazy.
I love this picture. I don't think you can see it because I don't think you're on the phone. But we have you would love this picture. It's a good picture of you.
How in the hell would I see a picture of myself and I'm on the phone?
Well, because you could have the ability to watch this.
Get him, Key. Get him.
You could have the ability to watch this. I mean, there is technology. I know sometimes that's something you struggle with as much as I love you. But I am trying to tell you it's a good picture of you that we picked, damn it.
Wow. Sometimes I struggle with technology. It's very interesting. I won't even say what I'm thinking out loud on this radio show right now.
Why not? Say it.
I won't even. No. I'm going to allow him to get himself in trouble with the people in L.A. What's up, though, Sedano? What the picture look like?
It's good. It's you in a hoodie with a nice like satin-esque USC jacket, red jacket, gold lettering. You got some nice shades on. I was trying to pay you a compliment and then also take a shot at you at the same time. I feel like that's been our relationship for a decade. So, just welcoming you back into the fold.
The shot was a bad deal. No, that picture, I know exactly what picture you're talking about. I'm kind of looking up a little bit. That's at the Notre Dame. That's the Notre Dame game from 2 years ago when we were in South Bend, and we got waxed. Yeah.
So what do you make of this year's squad, Key?
I still feel like we're going to be okay. I don't know what that means, though, because we still got a tough Northwestern team tonight, right? But I feel like we should win. That can go any way, because what Iowa likes to do is they like for you to play like them. Slow, methodical, low-scoring game. And I was beating USC in the past. And then we got to go to Oregon. So I don't know how that Iowa and Oregon is going to shape up. And then, obviously, the people across town, they kind of gotten their act together a little bit. And the quarterback seems like the guy that they paid the money to playing well. So you still don't know how that's going to go. But we're in it. We're fighting. We're going to fight. Let's just see if we can finish.
Key, when you think about USC and Northwestern, and I mean, it's been for all these teams. It's USC, Michigan. I mean, it all looks like a Rose Bowl until we finally get over the fact that USC is in the Big Ten. I saw a video on Twitter yesterday, the 1996 Rose Bowl, USC Northwestern, where you had, I want to say, like 200 yards receiving in that game.
That midriff that he was wearing, cut off jersey.
And I don't remember if it was Keith Jackson doing the broadcast, but he's a man amongst boys. When you think back to Rose Bowls, and particularly USC Northwestern, and then you get ready for this game tonight, what do you think about?
Well, yeah, Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy, I think, were calling the game. And if I wore that top right now, cut up like that, Sedano, I'll have a stomach looking like Morales's. But
hey, he's lost 100 pounds, Key.
Yeah, but
he tells us that all the time.
He's still heavy, man. He was killing my shoulders.
He reminds me that every time I talk to him. He tells me the whole deal.
And he almost died. I don't know if you heard. He almost died.
Failure, right? The whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's died 12 times according to him. But So when I think back at that game, it was just one of those, it capped off my senior year. I just had my oldest daughter at the time. I was literally going from practice to the hospital, disrupting practice because it was like labor, here it comes, and it was like I run down there, got to turn around. I did that like at least 3 times preparation for the Rose Bowl. But then, we have this, how you have the lunchings and the press conferences.
Yeah.
And the Northwestern guys were they was just talking a bunch of shit.
Whoa!
And
we're on radio still.
Yeah, he don't care. What does he care?
I don't care. I don't work for y'all. So
who the F is y'all?
So let me hold on. For those that hold on. For those that didn't hear it because it got dumped, you said those Northwestern players were talking a bunch of bleep.
Mm.
Yeah, they were talking a bunch of bleep, and I'm at the presser, and me, Sedano, I just kind of listened to him talking, and in the end, I said, "You don't understand what's getting ready to happen to you." I literally told him that. I said, "You guys don't really understand what's getting ready to happen to you," because the one guy was saying he wasn't afraid of me, he got scared, like literally at the press conference, like it was one of those press conferences where they put 2 or 3 of the top players up against each other with the coaches in the middle. It's like a boxing type deal.
Yeah.
And they were talking. I was like, y'all don't understand what's getting ready to happen to y'all. But, and we went out there and we kind of dominated them in fashion. I came out of the game and they started making a little nice comeback. And Coach JR, John Robinson, put me back in the game. And we ran mixed motion X angle. Mike Riley dialed it up. Mike Riley actually asked me, what is it that I want to run? And I believe it was on a 3rd down. And I said, let's go mixed motion X angle. Let's go, and he was like, okay. And that was the same exact play that I ran against Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl the year before. And I went, 80 on that one. So it was one of those deals, and we won it and the MVP trophy, and I became a New York Jet. But I knew right then and there that game was going to cement me as the number 1 overall pick, just that game. I wasn't going to have to do anything else but stay healthy and stay out of the way come draft time.
You mentioned, because they're playing tonight, obviously, those 2 teams that you played in that Rose Bowl. You mentioned they're a tough team, and they are, right? Like Oregon went there, and they beat them, the score was not necessarily indicative of how that game went. You mentioned you got Iowa on the horizon, who is, they play really tough defense, and they bludgeon you. You're going to come out of that game physically taxed, and then have to go to Oregon. I would also add a different layer to that, Key. Oregon and Iowa play this week, and you're going to get an Iowa team that's going to be pissed off probably because I would guess they may lose that game. So the schedule, to your point, this season with this group is going to be more challenging. I am just genuinely curious to see how they finish because I do think they're like one roster cycle, like recruiting and portal away from being really in real contention for the Big Ten.
I like you, George. You have no idea.
Tell him
what you're talking about.
Tell him,
that
King.
Cycle crap.
Tell
I'm
him.
so sick and tired of hearing. You know how many times I've heard we're so close. We just need one more cycle of players. We just need to turn over the roster one more time. Like, LSU doesn't do that, okay? They don't wait around to turn over no rosters, okay? They don't do that. Florida doesn't do that. Like, when are we gonna finally realize enough's enough? You think Ohio State every year they're just waiting to turn over the roster?
No, but USC's not there is my point, and I think that to your point, they're pretty good.
How many times are we gonna keep hearing we're not there? We're gonna go into 2026 saying, "Well, we need one more year. If I could just get my guys one more year."
No, this is it. This is it for me. Like 26 is the year is for me. Like if you can't be like legit competing for the Big Ten in 26, then you have to really reassess. That's kind of what I'm telling you.
With the portal and the richness of California in the West Coast in recruiting, you should need another year. I'm sorry. That's just
okay. So you're saying now they should be competing?
Well, okay, first of all, when the schedule rolled out at the beginning of the year, and you check those boxes, You said, okay, we should beat Georgia State and Missouri State and all them, and we should beat Illinois, and we should, like, you just check the boxes.
Right.
We shouldn't be, and then you would say, yeah, we're probably going to stumble up. Oregon's probably going to get us because they're playing, and we got to go to Oregon, and it'll be misty, and the crowd will be jacked up, and we'll have, 3,000 people in the stands, and they'll have the other 70. And so when you start looking at the schedule, you say, okay, well, we should have one loss in the Big Ten, and we should be fighting to play in the Big Ten championship. But at some point, we have to stop saying we're going to get there. We're turning over the roster. Like, who gives a guy 3 and 4 years to keep trying to this level of a program? Mexico State and UNLV. We're talking about this level.
Let's dig deeper then. Let's dig deeper. Okay. So what is the issue? Is it they don't want to buy him out because if you think is he not good enough? Do you need to start looking elsewhere? Do they need to round up money like all these other schools are doing?
Here's the problem. When you start first of all, Mike Bonehead put us in a bad situation with a 10-year contract.
Oh, Cappy's guy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my guy.
He put us in a bad situation because it's never about the money. If you want to get rid of a coach, you just do it, and we'll figure it out later. I'm not advocating that he is pushed out after the season because you got to find somebody to replace him. You got to. Like, who's available? So when you just start firing coaches and all of a sudden you got 10 jobs available, somebody's going somewhere, but are you replacing him with somebody that's better? Who's better that's out there that wants to take that job?
Yeah.
So what you want to see in this situation, you want to see fight to the end. You don't want to go to Oregon and lose by 28. You want to go to Oregon and lose by a field goal. You don't want Iowa coming in and you beating Iowa by 5 points. You want Iowa, you want them coming in, and you want to beat them by 28. So you start to show. You don't want UCLA with an interim head coach taking you down to double overtime. You don't want that. You want to be able to show fight and promise. And if you can't show fight and promise, because against Nebraska, if Raiola, little Patrick Mahomes doesn't get hurt, maybe you don't win that game. Instead, you lose that game instead of winning by 4. So you start to look at some things a little different, man. It's just that. And I think one of the things that the coaching staff and Lincoln Riley and company, they have to do is they have to understand they are at USC. They're not at Oklahoma anymore. Mm-hmm. This is the pressure's different here than it was at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
But let me just say, is it really? Because think about this.
No, really it is.
Okay, but hold on. Listen. Brian Kelly got
By the way,
fired
that's Cappy talking to you. You've called him Sedano twice.
Which is an amazing
You don't think you can't tell my voice? What's wrong? I mean, seriously.
It's all good.
I could be look, Sedano. I could be a racist and say, you all sound the same.
I'm Hispanic. He's white.
I'm not white. I'm so far from white. I'm not even close to white. What are you talking about?
You all sound the same. But go ahead, Cap.
Brian Kelly got fired this year at LSU. Those guys weren't waiting around. James Franklin got fired at Penn State. They weren't waiting around. Coaches have been fired at Auburn, Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Florida. Do you think that Lincoln Riley should still be the coach at USC?
I just said it depends on how it looks in the end.
Okay.
Depends on how it looks in the end. If, again, you at home against Iowa, and all of a sudden you playing slow football, and Iowa comes in, and you're in a dogfight with them, and it doesn't look right. Or you go to Oregon, and they run the score up on you. Or UCLA is in double overtime, and you win by default because the quarterback drops back and he fumbles the ball in double overtime and you land. Like, you want it to look a certain way. See, James Franklin got fired at Penn State because it didn't look right.
Yeah.
Okay? You got beat by UCLA, then you got beat by Northwestern. That doesn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't So when you start it's almost like the Miami Hurricanes, right? Miami Hurricanes was rolling. Woo! Here's the ball. He's back, baby. And then look what happened. They allowed Louisville to do what they did to them. Then they go to SMU and get done. It's like, come on, seriously. You're in the dog fight. Then you pay Carson Beck $17 million to do that. You fought for Carson Beck. He's going to get you fired. You don't want that. You want it to look a certain way. USC needs it to look a certain way. I don't have a problem with Lincoln Riley. He's fine with me. I don't talk to the dude. I don't deal with him. I say hi, and I keep it moving. But it needs to look a certain way. You can't have these Northwesterns coming in and you're beating them by 6 points. You're a better team. You got better athletes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Period.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true about Iowa, though. I'm not sure. I don't really know if that's true.
Well, no, they have better athletes than Iowa, but Iowa, Kirk Ferentz
will have you. I'm telling you, everybody thinks that Oregon's going to go to Iowa and run up the score.
No, it's a good game.
Iowa will have Oregon looking like a duplicate of them. Everything will be slow, and it just look a sync. I've watched it forever. And I was beating USC recently here. I think we just lost to them in a Holiday Bowl like a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. It's one of those deals where you got to be careful. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, Ferentz, to your point, slows the game down. They really want to fight in the mud the whole game. That's what they want to do.
Oh, right. Cappy's a mud fighter.
When it's over.
Yeah, amongst other things.
And to your point, UCLA, Chris likes to say that Jerry Neuheisel looks like he's got a perm, a straightened out perm,
and very soft skin.
Yeah, and soft skin, and you can't lose to that either. Yeah,
you can't. But Nico, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid of USC. They're not.
Right.
If you think about last year, it came down to like one possession.
Yeah.
So you start to. You're losing to UCLA and Notre Dame in the same year. It doesn't boat well, man. Yeah. You wouldn't know that, Cap, because you're not a Trojan, and you really don't understand what being a Trojan is all about.
That's true. I don't. That's true. But I think you guys are delusional because you guys think you're supposed to be as great as all these other teams, and honestly, you haven't been.
When you don't recruit Southern California, and you recruit other states more than you recruit your own backyard. Yeah, they changed it now all of a sudden because it got loud that they were not doing that. But when you got kids leaving St. John Bosco and Mater Days and Sierra Canyon.
Going to Alabama and
going
Georgia.
To these other schools.
Ohio State.
Yes, exactly.
Yep,
exactly.
That's right. That's right. Listen, it's a huge problem.
So
it is.
You sitting there telling me we're delusional. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
No, I actually have every idea of what I'm talking about. Here's why. Because while I'm not a USC Trojan, and I say things like "fight on," my
you don't even
school.
Say it right.
No, well, that's my point.
Yeah, you don't say it right, so it doesn't register.
No, here, watch, listen. Fight on. You don't think that sounds right?
Fight on.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Hold on,
like
we actually did. So one day we had Lindsay record it to see if she could do it right, and we had 3 different versions. Give me the 3 different Lindsay versions.
Fight on. Fight on. I don't know what the third Fight is. on. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Fight on. Man, fight on. Just
all right, Key.
Fight on. It's easy.
Fight on.
Let me change the topic for one quick second here.
Okay.
So your BFF Morales, okay? Do you think you could carry Morales on your shoulders?
Right now?
Yeah.
It's stuff is hanging all over the place, so it'd be weird, probably. I probably couldn't even balance.
Well, because he got on the table the other day in the studio, and then Cappy said he could hold him. And to your point, yeah, I mean the onions were doing things, right. And but Cappy did hold him, but Cappy now needs his neck fused according to Dr. Clapper.
Right, I need chiropractic work. I need orthopedic surgery. I mean, I got all kinds of problems going on now in my neck. Now, Morales says though that he's lost enough weight that Morales can beat you in a 100-yard
He
dash.
said this. He did.
Well, that's what I was getting to, because Key's going to be the tunnel captain tonight.
Right.
So, Key, you're going to be running out of the tunnel at the Coliseum.
Well, Well, wait, and Cappy actually had an even better retort because you said you could beat Key. We laughed at you.
Right.
And then Cappy said Key could beat you running backwards in a 100-yard dash.
So, of course, way back
to which
when.
I said, I don't want Key running backwards because he's getting older. I don't need him tearing an Achilles. But this is nonsense.
We all
What
remember
says.
the Marquis race where you beat Marcellus, even though that was a big battle. Who won? You were Marcellus. But I think at this point, I could now beat you, Key. If we both ran out of the tunnel tonight, I think I'd smoke you.
I thought you stopped doing drugs a long time ago.
Stop sniffing them keys, huh?
What, this
See what I did
tunnel
there?
thing is interesting. Everybody is like, it's like on a board up in Vegas or something. That everybody's like, oh, what's he gonna do when he runs out the tunnel? I'm like, it's a tunnel. You run out and you go on, and the team goes on their way. It's not. I'm not running from one end zone to the next. I'm not doing that.
What are you going to wear tonight for the tunnel ride?
I'll probably have some USC gear on. I haven't figured that out quite yet, but it'll be some USC gear.
Do you
I haven't
plan
gone
on?
to an SC game in 2 years, so
Yeah.
at the Coliseum in 2 years. So this will be my first time back in 2 seasons.
Are you
Just
planning on
because
properly
they've
stretching?
been so bad, man.
Wait, what's so bad?
No, I don't need to stretch.
You don't
They've
need to
been so
stretch?
Bad, no. Why would I need to stretch?
Well, I don't
Well,
want you to
listen.
tear a hamstring.
No. I mean, listen, you didn't stretch during the
Funny
Marquis.
as hell.
Yeah, you didn't stretch during the Marquis race, but that was an actual race. This was, and you pulled up. You won. I agree you won, but you made it a little closer than you needed to. He doesn't need to stretch to run out of a
He
tunnel.
should stretch properly, stretch out the quads, stretch out the hamsters, stretch out the calves.
Make
get
sure to
loose,
stretch
Key.
out the skadach, Key. You
Yeah.
got to stretch out that skadach.
Right. Can't
Oh
believe you have
my God! Will you stop, dude? I forgot about this show. But this
Now-
radio station, better yet.
We don't call it a skadach anymore. Now we call it a schwanz because of Cappy.
Yeah.
to Schwanz.
God. Hey, Sedano,
Yeah,
I haven't seen you call any NBA games lately.
I was just doing the Lakers versus Spurs on Wednesday.
Were you?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, they didn't cut to you enough then, or maybe I was. I don't know.
Maybe you were
Yeah,
watching it on
I-
Spectrum.
Yeah, you might have been on Spectrum then, if that was the case. Maybe you were watching Trudell instead of me.
That could be that. What was it? ESPN, obviously.
Yeah, it was me and Breen and Richard and Legler, and yeah,
What night was it?
Wednesday.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah, I probably was watching Spectrum.
Key, I'll send you a picture not from opening night I took with that they took of me interviewing Wemby in the walk-off. You're going to laugh. Hold on. I'm going to try to find it while you're still here. Give me
Why?
one
Because
second.
he's so much taller.
Oh, my God. I mean,
this
it's
is-
insane. Key, he's legitimately going to be – he's like almost 7'6". Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but did you see the kid from Florida?
Yes. Right. 7'9". Dude,
yeah,
that
right.
guy-
Yeah, he's crazy too. Yeah, but
that
he's
guy-
not good. That's the difference.
I know, but when he came off the bench last night, they blew up that place. They were like, "Yes, finally, that guy's 7'9".
He doesn't need to be good.
By the way,
He's
Keyshawn,
7'9".
did you win on Celebrity Weakest Link earlier this week?
Yeah, I won. Of course I won. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Key,
I
I
don't know how
just
the
sent
game
it
is
to you.
played. I don't even what the game is.
No,
My
it's a
arm was
trivia
tired.
game.
My arm was tired just holding the damn microphone to his face.
Dang, he's tall. Look at you. Your neck hurts too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but Key, you got to understand that when Sedano was doing the game on Wednesday night, Lakers and Spurs, I said, "Let me put you on my shoulders for the post-game interview,"
Yeah, that's how Chris ended up on his shoulder.
and that's how
Yeah.
Chris wound up sitting on my shoulders.
The
That's
one
how I
and
got hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need Wemby to play more consistent though.
Overrated.
Well, you know what happened? They got a couple of guys hurt, and then everybody started focusing on Wemby. They started sending double and triples his way, and the Lakers did the same, which was smart. And he got into foul trouble. Yeah, so I'm with you. But
will
he's crazy, Key. Like, you need to find a way to see him in person because it's wild. It's
I saw
unlike
him in
anything you've
person.
ever seen.
It wasn't as
Hey,
impressive.
so Cap, before I let you go, I just want to let that song "Conquest" breathe a little bit.
Let me hear
You
it.
really need to hear it.
Feel
Let
it, Cap.
breathe.
Feel it. Keyshawn.
And now, running through the tunnel, two-time All-American, number one overall pick in the draft,
Gotta let it
Keyshawn
breathe with it. When you drive
Johnson.
back home, Cap, put it on your radio and just listen to it.
Fight on.
Key, I've been to more USC games in the last 2 years than you've been to. Come on, man.
true.
Let's go to a
He
USC game. Let's
Hey, I
go.
can't, look, I can't support a program that doesn't know how to win. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Oh. I, on the other hand, have no problem supporting the program when they don't win.
You will see Keyshawn running out of the tunnel tonight. USC Northwestern coverage begins at 4 p.m. You'll hear that on ESPN LA. Key, we love you. Thank you for stopping by.
Bye, Key.
Fight on.
Bye.
Fight on.